Sahana vavatu Sahana bhunaktu Sahaviryam karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May the Lord protect us. May He nourish us. May we acquire the capacity to study and understand the scriptures. May our study be brilliant and may we not cavil each other. Om, peace, peace, peace unto us all. Dear brothers and sisters, loving Sai Ram to all of you. We welcome all of you to the Satsang of Sat Sai Baba Center of Arcadia. We are doing now the study circle on Gita Vahini, and we are going to start chapter 6 today, page 46, if you have the hard copy, and page 27 for the online version, which you should have. If you don't have, I think they would have shared with you online. You can watch and on the PDF. Last time, for recapitulations, we are still discussing the chapter 2 that is called Sankhya Yoga, which is really talks about the philosophy. And this is like a prelude. This is like Lord Krishna is a great teacher. Always teacher gives an overview of what he is going to talk about. He talks about that in chapter 2, gives a whole summary of what he's going to talk about. And chapter 18, he gives the summary of what all he talked about. So, and then he explains in between all the chapters about the details of this whole message. So last time, interesting concept we talked about is Yanisha Sarva Bhutani Papashetu. That means the person, a real yogi, sleeps when everybody is awake, and he is awake when um, everybody sleeps, and he sleeps when everybody is awake. It looks funny. So really everybody who sleeps, as we talked about the watchmen, robbers, people who have sickness, they all are awake in the night and they sleep in the daytime. So here, very clearly Swami said the message is the real Chita Prajna, the man of wisdom, is awake for the Atmic consciousness. He always lives in the realm of Atma, and he sleeps in the body consciousness. That means he is not interested in body consciousness and body pleasures, sense pleasures. That is what really it means. That is with two words Lord Krishna used there, and here Swami explained actually. Gata prajna, sthita prajna. So a lot of us have gata prajna. That prajna is awareness. It is gone because why? Because we are immersed in the worldly thoughts, worldly pleasures. Sthita prajna is the one. Is prajna is awareness is always steady in the thoughts of God. That is what sthita prajna is. So that is the last time we talked about. That, and also he says never give up the action, because action gives the results and the results bind us. We are all born because of our actions, because we do good sometimes, we do bad times, so we need to reap the consequences of our actions. So the best way to get out of is there is no choice. We will all be so good, bad, bad. As I said, as you sow, you reap. The best is thinking God is the doer and dedicated to God. So the best thing is Sarva Karma Bhagavat Prityartham. Everything is done to please God. Lord, in the morning, wake up, there's morning. Whatever I think, whatever I say, whatever I do, I dedicate to you. Very simple prayer, but that is a powerful prayer. At the end of the day, same thing. That is why there is a nice story suddenly I thought about. So Lord Vishnu was resting on sage Narada. He's a great sage. So he goes, Lord, he was curious because always even devotees get really ego. Who is the great devotee of God? Because this Lord Narada chants God's name, Hari's name, all the day, Om Namo Narayana, and sings his glories with his number. So he thought he would say, yeah, you are the greatest devotee. But he says, no, 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 you want to see the great devotee, go to this guy in this particular village and farmer. So he went and sees, my God, that means he must be doing a lot of japa, meditation, morning, evening, all these stotras, Vedas, everything, morning, evening. He goes there, this farmer gets up in the morning, says, Om Namo Narayana, I dedicate everything to you. That's it. And he goes and does his farming, putting seeds and things. And again, at the end of the day, same thing. Thank you, Lord, for giving me the opportunity to do the work I dedicate. Then he comes back. This guy says only twice a day, morning and evening. I do the whole day. How can he be a greater devotee? He says all the actions he do morning to evening because he dedicated uninterruptedly. He's thinking about me only. So to use the example, he says, okay, I'll give you a vessel full of oil. So take this, put it in the head, and you go around this particular place and come back. Yes. Then he goes, but you should not spill. Once that spills, that means it is failed. You failed in the action. So he goes very careful, walks and just there, and while doesn't spill, he comes back. Then Lord Vishnu asks, how many times you thought about me? I didn't think even once because his focus was on the oil not spilling. So this guy, at least he thought about it twice, even though he is busy with work. The main thing is even morning and evening you think, but throughout you dedicate, and then the whole work becomes worship. So that is the attitude we should have. So just we cannot judge somebody who is a devotee, not devotee. Main thing is everything dedicated to God. That is why the famous one of the I often quote about this great Carmelite saint called Brother Lawrence, great saint, Spanish saint. So he was not a very scholarly man, but he was a cook in the monastery. But this man was so pure and noble and sacred, so everybody made him a saint because he says he was as much in tune with God in the clutter and noise of the kitchen as much as he's bending at the altar and worshiping because he's always practicing the presence of God. I recommend all of you to read that book. It's a very small book. This is letters he wrote to people practicing the presence of God. The name of the book, very small. Brother Lawrence, to practice in the presence of God. That means everything, always he felt God is with you. Like Swami says, I am with you, above you, below you, behind you. So then stage will come, it is good to go to the temple, churches, come to here to people with like, but we should not get stuck with that. We should be able to eventually quietly sit one place, be able to feel his experience. Otherwise, our mind runs here, there, everywhere, and get agitated. It's good to do that, but don't get stuck in. That's why Swami Vivekananda said, "You're born in a church, don't die in a church. You are born in a temple, don't die in a temple." So you need to finally make our Hridaya Mandir temple. That experience ultimately we should get. Till then, however much pilgrimages we do, however worship we do, it is good, but it won't reach us to the goal. That is what is very important. We do all spiritual practices, but where are we going? That is what we need to do that. So now we will be starting on page 46, chapter 6, 40. Yeah.
The same context of this Narada story. I don't know how many of you have listened to that discourse clip that we play before the Akanda Gayatri, that 10 minutes. In that, Swami beautifully says about Gayatri that, if somebody takes a loan, and then they actually then they have to pay for the interest and all those things. So basically, the interest itself become too much to pay. So this is how it happens. Instead of that, what Gayatri does is he says morning, afternoon, and evening. 3 times you do Gayatri. So whatever you do on that day, whatever the debt it is there, you just tell the 3 Gayatris. The debt with the loan is paid off again and again. So there's nothing pending every day. So it is a very nice short story to share. Beautiful.
Simply chanting 3 times. That is why we all can do it three times in the three Gayatri in the morning and lunch. The more the better, but at least minimum is good. Good. That's why the Gayatri, the power is Gayante Trayate iti Gayatri. Just by chanting, it protects us all that. Anyway, after a while, when I talk about Sri Lanka, we can share some stories how some people shared how Gayatri protected them, their life. Okay, now you want to start, Puma?
Yeah, I will. But may I say one thing?
No,
before I
go
read?
ahead. That's why another thing I want to feel. This is not like where we are giving a discourse or whether we are giving a lecture. This is a study circle. Circle means as a family, we are all interested in God. We love God. We want to share that experience. Anything which helps us go towards God. It doesn't need to stick to the thing itself. Anything which takes us towards God, that is all. Please, anyone of you, please feel to make a comment, share, or question anything. That is what we need to help each other. Please go ahead, Nirupa.
Well, Uncle, you mentioned that we have to establish the Hridaya Mandir, and that just brought a thought. Swami had mentioned in a discourse that, Ayodhya, Brindavan are all satellite offices, but it's really our heart that is the head office for God. And that always stuck with me. And I think I heard that discourse
No.
many years ago.
Exactly. This is. I remember that time also. This was in Guru Purnima discourse. Swami said that actually this is there in the Bhagavad Gita. Lord Krishna says, "What is your address?" Uddesya Arjuna Tishtati. He says, "I'm." Where are the atheists? What is the whole sloka? You used to know that. So anybody remember? So, Hurdeshe Arjuna Tishtati. I'm always sitting in your heart. So that what is your residence? It is the residence. So not so somebody says, where is he stating in Vaikunta? Somebody says Kailasa or in Mecca or Jerusalem or Kashi. They're all pilgrimage places because they get power. There's so many devotees went and worshipped. But finally, you know the story of Draupadi, right? How when she prayed to Lord Krishna when she is being humiliated in this thing, being tried to be disrobed. So Lord Krishna was so nobody helped. That's another lesson there. When times of distress, elders like Bhishma, Drona, they're powerful people. They didn't help her at all. They could have easily taken care. Our own uncles didn't help. Our own husbands who are very powerful, Arjuna, blah, 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 they could not help. Who helped? God only helped. So this is a lesson for us. Nice to have friends and family, but the best and only friend, Swami says, is God. Should always remember, God is my only friend, my only relative. Others, yes, they are all reflections of God. So nobody helped her. Then he called the Dwarakavasi, and then unending flow of the Paris and her honor was saved. And then she asked the question. There also another lesson. One is nobody will help you except God. Second is every little thing you do for God comes back to you thousands of fold. One time, the story says Swami himself said, Lord Krishna had a cut in his finger. It was bleeding. and they needed a cart. And everybody was running, his wife, Surikmani, Satyabhama, just to get a place. So everybody was running to get a place, but only Draupadi has that sense. Right away, she has a new sari. She tore up the sari and tied it. So she didn't even think about to go someplace, do that, just spontaneously did that, sari. So that little piece of cloth she gave, he has unending volumes of saris have given. So little thing you do, that's why Swami said, you take one step towards me, I will come 100 steps. You shed one tear, I will wipe hundreds of tears. So that is another lesson. Even every little thing you do for God, you do that. And third thing is, you lesson, simple incident that Draupadi, you can learn so many lessons, how only God is our friend. Second is, every little thing you do for God comes back. Third thing is, when they were trying to disrobe her, she was holding her sari tight, trying to protect, fight with them. Nothing happened. Only when she said, Lord, I cannot do anything. He surrenders, lifts both hands. I do whatever you want. Let it go. I fought enough. So she surrendered completely and raised both hands. So when in life also, when you completely surrender, Lord, only you can take care. When you partially, okay, you are taking care of her, okay, let you take care. But completely, when you know that only God can take care, completely surrender, then he takes care. And final lesson, Rudvasi. So she asks him, you protected me, I'm very grateful, Lord, but why did you take a while to come? He said, you called me Dwarakavasi. So I have to come all the way from Dwaraka. I have to honor your words. We say Hrudayavasi, I will instantly appear. So we need to feel that Swami is not in some distant place. It is here, nurture our love. We get together anywhere for temples or pilgrimage places. They're all. But real thing is in deep contemplation in our heart is there. That is the very, all the sages, that's why Ramana Maharshi didn't even move from Arunachala. He didn't go to any place. At least Sri Ramakrishna Swami, they went to place. He felt the presence of the Lord in one particular place. You don't need to go any place. That is ultimately. So the lesson Draupadi learned is he is Hrudayavasi. Swami says, I'm in you, above you, below you. We think it is just, we repeat the word. Even me, we all have that thing. We forget sometimes that he is really with you, means he is really here with us, around us, sitting with every one of us. Not just with me, each one of us. That means one Sai is there with you. He is not physically see. Like if you see, I saw I don't know how many Krishna movie, Lord Krishna, and he Rasalila. This is one of the famous thing in Bhagavatam. He does the Rasalila. He plays with the Gopikas. So everybody wants to have with him. And everybody has him, but the other person, oh, I am so lucky, only me have it. But everybody, they don't see the other person having. Everyone has the Lord Krishna with them, the gopis, because of their pure love. So every one of us has Swami with us, but we need to feel that experience. We need to have that. For that is the whole purpose of the intent. So when you talked about Hridayavasi, that was uh, Uddesha Arjuna Tishtati, uh, that is what it is. See, nobody can remember, all of you, just only me. Just Gita, you should always remember. You don't remember Anupam, so those are Uddesha, that is what it is. Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Uddesha Arjuna Tishtati. Yeah. Ishvara Sarvabhutanam. And God is all beings, not just human beings. Bhutanam is not humans, animals, plants, and everything. Uddesha Arjuna Tishtati. Brahmayan, second part is Brahmayan Sarvabhutani Yantrarudhani Maya. So I'm happy that now whole thing came. That means Yantrarudhani, he by his Maya, by his power, he makes us all run like machines. He is the operator, we are the machine. He is the puppeteer, we are the puppets. So, Ishvara Sarvabhutani Hruddeshe Arjuna Tishtati. It is in our heart. Brahmayan Sarvabhutani Yantrarudhani Maya. Just like a yantra, I mean, like machine, like Sri Ramakrishna's favorite. I am the machine, you are the operator. So just, we are all the machines and he operates us. and like we are the puppets and he's the puppeteer. Whenever he stops, we are gone. Whenever he wants to play, we go with the play. So that is the beautiful message, that this is the important. This is 18, chapter 18, slok 61. So the address, where is your address, God? That is the address he gave. So we should remember the address is not Kashi or Tirupati or Mecca or Jerusalem or Bethlehem. They're all, there's sub-offices. Head office is this. They're all substation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the Swami said satellite.
Satellites. So, but these things we should remember. Then we don't get frustrated. Oh, I couldn't go there. I couldn't do this. Just you are in bliss wherever you are contemplating. Okay, go ahead. So I think before we even started, we will be soon finishing. Okay.
Right, Saram. In 17 verses, from the 56th to the 72nd, Krishna described in the second chapter the characteristics of the Sthitaprajna and the excellence of that stage. Then, saying that he himself had established Gnana Yoga for the Sankhyas and the Karma Yoga for the Yogis as means of attaining liberation, he spoke of the importance of karma. Everyone has to bow to the demands of nature and engage himself in karma. It is inevitable. Therefore, Krishna said, do the kartavya karmas, karma that is your bounden duty. Being engaged in karma is to be preferred to not being so engaged. If you desist from karma, the task of living becomes difficult, nay, impossible. The karmas that do not bind by consequence are those referred to as yagna. All the rest are bondage-producing ones. Therefore, O Arjuna, give up all attachment and engage in acts as if they are each a yagna, sacrifice dedicated to the Lord. Krishna taught Arjuna the origins of karma, the roots from where the urge to do karma sprouts and grows. He taught them so clearly that Arjuna's heart was really moved and modified. The Vedas emanated from God. Karmas emanated from the Vedas. From karma originated yagna, from yagna, rain. From rain grew food, from food came all living beings. This is the cycle that has to be accepted and honored. Consider this, O Arjuna. I have no need to do any karma. No, not anywhere in the three worlds. I am under no compulsion. Still, I am ever engaged in karma. Think of this. If I desist, the world will be no more. Have steady faith in the Atma, then dedicate all acts of yours to me with no desire for the fruit thereof, no egoism, and no sense of possession or pride. Engage in battle, said Krishna. You want me to stop there?
Yeah.
I think this is a very important passage and very powerful, especially when, we heard how Lord Krishna really spoke to Arjuna about his dharma being engaging in this battle. And again, this is just, I think the battle here really represents the battles that we fight every day. What I find interesting, this is a really beautiful description of karma. I think many times in the Western world, there's this misconception of karma because it's a little bit more focused more on consequences and negative consequences, or even positive reward, which kind of defeats the purpose, especially when Lord Krishna says that here. And just like you said, Uncle, just by offering what we do every day and our duty and offering this to God, we sort of detach ourselves from the results, but we also, as an offering to God, make it sacred. And the whole purpose as we go through this life is to detach ourselves from all of these worldly things that we see every day or that we do. There's one more thing. I always find it interesting whenever I hear things about karma. Just again, just in popular culture or something, there's always this focus on negative, um, and so it sort of instills this fear, and then that fear, I mean, hopefully causes everybody to maybe make better choices, but it's not always the right motivator for doing something that's right. You do something that's right because essentially you're coming from a place of love and doing it for God. Um, but it always fascinates me how that's always the misconception of what karma is.
Yeah, no, not only in the West, I think even in India and the West, everybody think this is my karma. That means they think it is bad thing. Karma, it literally means, karma means action, that's all. So it will be good action, good results, bad action, bad results. So everybody is going to do, that's why this is the famous sloka, Lord Krishna says, Arjuna, Name parthasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana nanavaptam avaptavyam vartayevacha karmani. In these three words, Name parthasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana. In these three words, I don't have any obligation to do. Whereas we have to support your family, you have to go to work, pay for your house mortgage, you have to go to work. So we have a duty too. But Lord, He is everything. So He doesn't. Ishu lokeshu kinchana. But nanavaptam avaptyavyam. I have nothing to gain, I have nothing to lose. So I am full. He has nothing there. But vartayevacha karmani. Still I work. Why? To set an example to people how one should always work. So he says, because even for a second, one cannot keep quiet. We need to. So our Swami was an example. From the time he was from the young days till he left his mortal coil, he was always working. He was always, whether he so-called vacation, he want to go to Vrindavan or you go to Kodaikanal or anywhere he goes, still every morning everybody looks for his darshan. He has to take the letters, get the interview. Interview means just to listen to the pains of the people. Oh, Lord Swami, I want my daughter to get married. My daughter doesn't have still a baby, or I want a promotion. I'm getting trouble. I'm the something or other. That's all. Poor Swami has to hear. So all the time they don't have to do, but they, by example, they show that you have to do work. That is why when you do that, these three, I shared that in the Eternal Companion. We talked about it before. Whenever, whatever work we do, few things we need to remember. Number one, right now we are doing the study circle. Be focused on this. Don't think about, oh, tomorrow we have to do that. Next, after this urgent thing, what have to do it before. So just be in the present. One pointed focus is very important. And whatever we do, second thing is attention to detail. You should completely, whatever you do, you should do that. And third is don't expect the results of action. Completely, Lord, I give the results of the action to you. Results will come, but the fruits you dedicate to Him. And finally, whatever we do for the pleasing of God. And finally, the most important, when we do work, you need to be, this is what he's talking about, Sita Prajna. We'll talk about it next week. Everybody read meanwhile, Sloka 56 to 72, where Arjuna asks the question, who is a Sthita Prajna? Because you use the word, you should know the meaning. Who is a Sthita Prajna? How does he walk? How does he talk? How does he behave? He asks the question. So when you practice like that, you will become a Sthita Prajna. So what are the qualities you will develop when you do with this attitude of complete dedication to the Lord? Because whenever we do actions, two things come. Somebody will praise you. Oh, what a beautiful job you did. You did a beautiful flower arrangement. You sang such a nice, beautiful bhajan, or you did that. Somebody will say, my God, you messed up the whole bhajan. You did such a terrible arrangement. The mic system was not good. So either you will get praise or you will get blame. And so in life, you will get either profit or you will get a loss. Whenever you do any business, even stock market, it will go up and down. You'll get success in what you do, or you may get failure. And you may get, some people may honor you or dishonor you. These things will happen whenever you action. But everything you take as prasad of God, then everything is a gift from God. Everything is prasad. You will feel happy. So that is what the attitude is. Sthita Prajna, I think. Yes, Sai Ram, and we'll continue next.